What's going on, guys? It's me, Akshay, and I'm here at the Curve Theatre in Leicester, and I'm about to do an interview with one of the main members, Sunny, from the band Red Baraat. So I'm here with the man himself. Nice to meet you today, Sunny.
Nice to meet you, Akshay.
Thank you very much. And, I want to talk to you, first of all, about, your band. And I could describe to the viewers what you're all about, but why not let you do it? So what is Red Baraat all about?
Well, Red Baraat is a big brass, Dolan brass band. As you can see, there's like 8 people, 5 brass and 3 drummers. And it's a big explosion, really rooted first in Punjabi Bhangra music, but really kind of bring in the influences of other types of music that I grew up with in the States, namely jazz, funk, Latin music, go-go. And it comes together in this very unique sound that I can really only describe as like a Brooklyn Bhangra sound.
Okay, right. So there's a whole load of things mashed into one, it seems. And now, when I was told, Red Baraat, you're going to interview him, I thought, okay, got to do the research. And rather than reading, I went straight down to your video, and I tell you, it was just something special, because when you guys are on stage, from this video, I saw so much energy, I saw so much, so many good vibes, and the audience is going. And at the beginning, I thought, wait, this is in India or something, right? Then the camera kind of zooms into Lotus Festival, and you've got all sorts of people in the audience, like all sorts of ethnicities. Now, is that what you're trying to do here? You're trying to bring this kind of Asian vibe to the, the outside world. What is it that your aim is?
Well, I think, what the goals become with the group is to create a community. The Baraat term is something that's celebratory, it's joyful, it's community-oriented, it's bringing families together in its essence of North Indian Baraat style, but it doesn't stop there. For us, music is a universal language, first and foremost, right? So the idea is to communicate emotion through sound, through music, and we've been fortunate enough that the sound has been appealing to a wide variety of people. You mentioned this festival, Lotus Festival, which is in Bloomington, Indiana.
Okay.
And, there's all ages, all ethnicities. Everyone's out there jamming to our music. It doesn't matter if you're South Asian, doesn't matter what your background is. If you love music and you like to dance and you like energy, when we bring that, it all gets swirled together, and the line between band and audience gets blurred, and it's a big dance party.
Step 3. Okay, that was a rhetorical question. Are you ready for step 3? Yeah. All right then. Get ready to shake your hips. Oh, just shake your hips. Yeah. Just shake your hips. We having fun yet? All right. Let me hear you say, "Job, baby. Job, baby. Job, baby. Job, baby. Come on, job, baby. Job, baby. Boy, job, baby. Job, baby."
Together. Now, my personal experience, when I was watching it, my dad was sat next to me, right? Yeah. And he was watching TV, as you do. And I put your video up on the laptop, and he went... he started looking at your music, and me and him were just sitting there for just ages watching you guys. And I know you do some, covers as well from like Bollywood movies, don't you? And he was sitting there, I know this one. This is that one. This is that song from this movie. Nice. So you can see where the young generation and the old generation kind of relate to that.
Absolutely.
Now, you do covers, but do you make your own music? Do you make your own things?
Yeah, a good portion of our music is original. There are some other numbers, like Bollywood numbers, Punjabi numbers, that we arrange and orchestrate specifically for the band. And, it's really kind of looking back at, I remember being 5 years old and my first conscious trip of going back to India and going to Delhi and seeing my Mamaji getting married. And a brass band shows up and 2 dhol players show up and they start playing. And this procession starts happening, this Baraat. The first experience of a Baraat, I'm like, wow, what's happening, man? It's like my cousins are up on the horse with rings of money around them, and I'm like, there's music playing, there's fireworks going off. And so for me, it's kind of looking back at that experience, remembering a lot of those songs, you know, that I grew up with as a child, watching those Bollywood movies, you know, and from the 90s, early 90s, late 80s. But also bringing in new music, because we're all composers in the band.
Right.
And, you know, I personally have been composing since the late 90s, and a lot of my music centers around that identity of being Indian and American.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and in your band, you've got the Asian background as well, but then you've got a whole different mix of ethnicities. Now, my question is, how did you get together in the first place, and how did you put the idea forward that we're going to be doing this?
Right. It was a natural progression. You know, New York City, if you're a musician, you typically are freelancing and playing with a bunch of different great musicians that live in that city, you know, whether it be jazz or funk or rock and roll or singer-songwriter. So, you know, I'd been in the city already for a number of years, performing mostly in jazz, but doing a variety of other freelance work. So all the guys in the band are people I've intersected with in various musical genre communities or pockets. So when I was putting the band together, the primary area I was coming from was jazz, but I didn't want it to just be a jazz band. I didn't want just that influence coming in there. I wanted other things to come in there. So what's happening now is, what you're seeing with the sound of the band is everyone is putting their musical background and their voice into the sound of Red Baraat, and it's all the guys in the band that really make up the sound of what we do.
Right, okay. So you're here today doing exactly what you just talked about. You're bringing out this flavour to different cities, aren't you, in the UK? Now, first of all, what's the UK, you know, what's it like for you?
It's fantastic to be here.
Right, so we're here right now, and Red Baraat are playing live right behind me. And I'll tell you what, the atmosphere in here is amazing. If you look around, you can see everybody on their feet, you can see them dancing along, and it's all interactive. So they encourage people to get on their feet and come down towards the stage. And I'll tell you what, it's amazing in here. You need to be here.
I've been a fan of British Asian musicians, you know, back to Nitin Sawhney, Talvin Singh, Johnny Kalsi, Tiger Style. So for me, it's an honor, and it's the way I wanted to enter the market. I wanted to enter the backing with the community, the South Asian community behind us. And it's been wonderful so far. We've had 4 dates. We have like 5 or 6 more dates to go, and we're all over the UK.
I'm definitely gonna be there to watch you guys.
Awesome.
And I'm seeing your videos, like I've said, and it's like you just have fun on stage. It's not like a job for you at all, is it? Because I've seen you. You're with the tool there. You're with the mic. You're going brah, brah, bigging all the audience up, and then you've got the one, you know, the singer man who is jumping all over the place. I saw one of those videos. He's jumping, doing tours, Sunny Jain,
my trumpet player,
And you've got these little kind of little dance scenes that you do as well together, like synchronized. You know, you were playing. People are playing the trumpet, and you're doing this twirly synchronized dances.
Yeah.
Did you always want to, you know, incorporate that, or did that just come about when you were performing one time? This energy that you bring forward.
A lot of these things develop, you know, on the bandstand and through performance. You know, a main key component of our music is improvisation, and so things develop in the moment. Things develop like as we're touring around, as we're developing and practicing as a band, performing as a band, hanging as a band. A lot of these things get talked about, or they just spontaneously erupt on stage because maybe the audience is giving us some certain energy. So, yeah, there's a lot of things, you know, that I can't really tell you that it was, you know, prescribed like way earlier on saying we're going to do this, or if it just kind of erupted somewhere down the line, like 5 months later, all of a sudden these guys were doing this certain dance move. But it's definitely that celebratory, kind of spontaneous fun where we bring up the audience to get us dancing with them.
just have fun on stage. It's not like a job for you at all, is it?
No,
Because I've
no.
seen you. You're with the doll there. You're with the
Yeah.
mic. You're going brah, brah, around, bigging all the audience up, and then you've
Yeah.
got the one, the singer man who is jumping all over the place.
Yeah.
I saw one of those
Yeah,
videos.
yeah,
He's jumping,
Sunny
doing
Singh,
turns,
yeah.
Sunny
Yeah,
Singh,
our
yeah.
trumpet player, yeah.
And you've got these little kind of little dance scenes that you do as well together, like synchronized. You were playing. People are playing the trumpet, and you're doing this twirly synchronized
Exactly.
dances.
Yeah.
Did you always want to, incorporate that, or did that just come about when you were performing one time? This energy that you bring forward.
A lot of these things develop, on the bandstand and through performance. A main key component of our music is improvisation.
Mm-hmm.
And so things develop in the moment. Things develop like as we're touring around, as we're developing and practicing as a band, performing as a band, hanging as a band.
Yeah.
A lot of these things get talked about, or they just spontaneously erupt on stage because
Right,
maybe
yeah.
the audience is giving us some certain energy. So, yeah, there's a lot of things, that I can't really tell you that it was, prescribed like way earlier on saying we're going to do this, or if it just kind of erupted somewhere down the line, like 5 months later, all of a sudden these guys were doing this certain dance move. But it's definitely that celebratory kind of spontaneous fun where we bring up the audience to get us dancing with them.
Right, so most of it is improvisation. Whatever the audience
Yeah.
feels, you kind of take that on, yeah?
Yeah.
Wicked. And now I hope to see that a bit later on when I see you guys on stage. And, well, I hope it all goes well for you.
Thanks.
And thanks for the time. Thanks for having
Appreciate
this
it.
interview with
Thank
me.
you,
Cheers.
Akshay.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.